All right, part two out at the Dilgert House in Atchison. We're going to go over a lot of the closed circuit TV cameras, what they caught. Unfortunately, they don't have sound. So I will try to explain what we're looking at as we go along. I believe almost every one of them caught something. So I'll go ahead and start getting them ready. This camera is getting interference. We're not for sure where that interference is coming from, but it is definitely an electromagnetic field interference type. Usually, this is an issue with an entity trying to get into the camera or trying to get into that area. After seeing the flashes on the camera, well, we felt that there was an entity or some type of action going on down there. So we placed a REM pod out there in the middle of the room. This is room one, the kitchen downstairs. And you can see the REM pods going off. And that is a proximity light that is going off, not a temperature light. So there is something there triggering it. And this is the same doorway that we caught the stick figures in, coming out of the back room into a larger room there area. And you can see the shadow lights going off because something's playing over the top of it. And as you saw from the SLS camera, that is where he would be standing. I added this clip so everybody could see the light array from an SLS. It blankets the area so that if anything moves, it picks it up. Now this is the nursery, and you can see George has already come back and put a new toy in there on the floor. Now the light strip that's in front of the toy will detect motion over it. And you can see that the light strip's going off. Again, we had all sorts of devices out here, and we're getting hits on almost everything. Three seconds into the clip, the camera gets moved, and then the camera gets moved back in a few more seconds. Now this camera is on infrared. It's not showing a lot of dust. And before the end of the film, you'll see a large orb come from the top, come down, go back up, and then go offside. Now, this is the room where George had his experience. So he's bringing a REM pod in, and he will reset the REM pod to where it accepts the ambient area around it. And then he starts to leave the room. And this is when you can see the proximity sensors on the REM pod go off. And it's going to be beeping, so George will come back in at that point and try to communicate.
Bertha, are you in this room? Okay. This room? Okay.
Now, this is a sampling of the things that we caught. We got hits on the REM pod, the shadow detector lights, the motion lights. There's an EVP out there that they caught later on that night. We probably have another 30 or 40 of these types of clips. I think the interesting one in the hallway is where the kids play, and the camera gets moved and then gets moved back to the same position that it started from. I think that's very interesting. So I'm not going to make you watch another 30 minutes of similar clips. I'm just presenting all of this to you so you can look at it and see it. You have to make up your own mind on it. So, but to me, they have some spirits there. And that's fun. Anyway, happy hunting.